Have you ever looked back at a picture that you took years ago and saw something that doesn't belong? Whether it was a face, strange figure, or something spookier. Finding something like this can leave you feeling unsettled and not quite right. Would that feeling change if the photo in question was taken while scanning regions deep in space? Number 10. The Black Widow lurking in space. Lying just above the disk of the Milky Way, there is a spooky nebula that sits 10,000 light-years from Earth, spewing out massive amounts of radiation, ripping apart its own body. Streams of dust flow like spider legs out of the center of the nebula, pushed by the stellar winds from the newly formed stars in its body. This spooky crawler was first captured by NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, which just ended its 17-year mission in early 2020. Black widows are bad enough when we encounter them on Earth. Running into one in space is a whole nother story. Number 9. A ghostly sight in deep space. The Hubble Space Telescope turned its sight on the nebula IC63, which is also known as the Ghost of Cassiopeia. This nickname got its ghostly origins from the flowing veils of gas and dust that make up much of the mass of this structure. Its ghastly appearance is the product of a nearby giant star, Gamma Cassiopeiae, blasting IC63 with a barrage of radiation, causing the matter within the nebula to slowly dissipate. This dissipation gives the Ghost of Cassiopeia its more translucent, ghostly appearance. What will this figure become as its material is blown away by radiation? Number 8. A cosmic silhouette. One of the highest telescopes on Earth, La Silla Observatory found in Chile, captured this eerily familiar silhouette at the edge of the star foundation known as NGC 3324. The massive blue-white stars present in the system emit enough radiation to carve out a massive cavity in the gas and dust that lie in the interstellar space between the stars. From our angle on Earth, this cavity appears to closely resemble a silhouetted portrait of a human face. What would it feel like to be the first person to lay your eyes on something like this? Number 7. The Screaming Skull. This image was taken using the Chandra X-ray Observatory, which detects the X-rays emitted from celestial objects and builds images using them that we can study. Known as the Screaming Skull, this terrifying object was found while scanning the Perseus cluster of galaxies over 240 million light-years away from Earth in the constellation of Perseus. It is unclear what local forces are causing this figure to form, or what exactly is responsible for the X-rays it is made of, and only further study and probing of this galaxy will help astronomers understand what is going on with Perseus' Screaming Skull. It almost looks as if it wants to break free from its fiery prison and to take off into the cosmos on its own. But, luckily this figure is likely to just be an arrangement of radiating gases. Number 6. Cryptids on Mars. NASA's Spirit rover landed on the Martian surface in the first week of 2004. Outfitted with multiple cameras, Spirit sent back thousands of images over its life, including some that captured things that were entirely unexpected. Taken in 2007, an image from Spirit seemed to show a figure resembling the earthly cryptid Sasquatch. While many astronomers hold to this mysterious figure being an oddly shaped rock, many extraterrestrial enthusiasts believe that this could be an image of an alien being. Number 5. A ghostly head outside the Milky Way. Known as the Ghost Head Nebula, this nebula is the inhabitant of one of the Milky Way's satellite galaxies called the Large Magellanic Cloud, which lies 168,000 light-years away from us. This is a star formation emissions nebula that is home to a large number of young stars. Stretching for over 50 light-years through the Large Magellanic Cloud with two bright white patches referred to as the Eyes of the Ghost. Unlike some of the other nebula we have seen, this one is not being bombarded by radiation and has not yet been ripped apart by the stellar winds generated by the newly born stars. This has led astronomers to estimating that the stars that are found within this nebula have been formed sometime in the past 10,000 years, making this a nursery of some very young stars. Number 4. An ominous globule. Blocking our view of the nebula NGC 1999, this dark figure, called a Bok globule, stands ominously facing the light 1,500 light-years away from Earth in the constellation of Orion. Globules like this are celestial objects composed of thick clouds of various materials that can aid in the formation of stars. The bright light comes from the star V380 Orionis and causes this nebula to shine out past the body of this menacing figure. It is now known that the black area that is seen in the nebula is actually completely empty, devoid of all gas and dust. But knowing this just increases the mystery and eeriness of this odd stellar system. What caused this void to form in the way it did? Number 3. The universe's all-seeing eye. A unique eye-like structure that has been found while exploring the universe comes in the form similar to the infamous Eye of Sauron from the classic Lord of the Rings. This nebula, named Fomalhaut, consists of a central star with a massive debris field that stretches far out to form the eerie shape of an all-watching eye rimmed with fire. Located a short 25 light-years from Earth, Fomalhaut is the 18th brightest star in our sky. The ominous shape that we see is due to the forces acting around the central star, as well as the structure's orientation relative to us. Number 2. A glowing skull. Known as the Rosette Nebula, this massive region is 5,200 light-years away and creates a structure that is strikingly familiar to us, which only becomes much more apparent when viewed through a filter. When the light coming from the nebula is shifted from red to a less saturated white-gray, we can see the image of a skull extremely clearly, over 130 light-years in diameter, making it a monstrous sight. Number 1. The ghost reaching for the stars. One of the eeriest and most unsettling finds that shock the astronomers that found it resides in the cloud of interstellar gas and dust known as SH2-136, just around 1,200 light-years away in the path of the constellation of Cephus. Throughout this cloud, we can find multiple human-like figures rising out of the dust and gas in an apparent attempt to reach out towards the stars surrounding them. These figures give the nebula its name, the Ghosts of Cephus. Multiple newly formed stars that produce stellar wind can be seen throughout the cloud of dust and gas, which astronomers believe played a role in forming the unique structure of this nebula. Nebulas like this one will continue to mystify and bewilder the astronomers that find them. There is no knowing how many are left to find out in the deep edges of the universe. Are there any photos from space that have scared you? Thanks for watching. See you next time on Matter.